What if you don't need to live in pain and suffering? What if you could give up your karma and have a life of abundance and joy? What if you could start creating magic and miracles that you never thought were possible? Get ready to listen, share, and experience the magic that is you. Now, here's the host of Creating Abundance with Ease radio show, Dr. Helen Gitlevich.
Welcome. I'm Helen Gitlevich. I'm Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is, what is one thing, one magic pill that can change everything? We're always looking for the one thing, the right thing, the magic pill that can change our problems, improve our lives, improve our relationship. What is that one thing? Let's play and see what it is. All my life, I was actually looking for that magic pill, magic class, magic modality that can change all of that. And I went through so many things. For people who don't know me and just joining me for the first time, I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich, and I've been a medical doctor. Doctor actually means medical doctor. I went to college, medical school, and practiced medicine for about 10 years until I got sick and had open heart surgery, quit my job, sold my practice, and started looking for that magic pill. What can get me better? What can change all of that? My health, my financial situation, because I wasn't working. I couldn't work. I was in major depression. I was in pain. There was no way in hell I could work. And so I went from Reiki. Well, I was already searching even before. Ever since I was a kid, I was always looking at and thinking there was something more to life than just eating, sleeping, going to work, or going to school. And so I took different things, Woman Within, Akashic Records, and I still am doing Akashic Records. And every single class, every single modality, every book I read, everything got something for me. Made my life maybe a little bit easier to deal with, but I was still functioning from the notion that I have to improve myself, that there is that magic pill like a matrix. Take the red pill or blue pill, whatever it was, and you are out of the matrix. Guess what? There is a magic pill. And I actually found out about that even when I was younger. Somebody told me, you have a choice. And I'm like, I don't have a choice. Well, not having a choice is still a choice. So the magic pill that one thing can change our lives is actually a choice. A choice we make. Choice creates our lives. Every choice we made along the way brings us to the point where we are right now. So no matter how much I was trying to improve myself, how much I was trying to look for that magic pill, it was always with me. That choice, choose. I was told so many times, choose. And I'm like, I don't know how to choose. The funniest thing was, because I do a lot of classes with Access Consciousness, and founder of Access Consciousness and co-founder Gary Douglas and Dr. Dane Hare, they always talk about choice. And they always told me, choose, damn it, choose. And I'm like, how do I choose? And then Gary told me something that is so funny. It's like, do you know how to change your underwear? Or how to choose your underwear? And I'm like, yeah, that's what choice is. choice creates everything. And a lot of times we choose consciously, unconsciously, or anti-consciously. So that magic pill might not always work to our benefit because we choose against us. Because there are toxic pills, there are drugs, there are alcohol, there are pills that have side effects. So the way to play with it, and that's what I'd like to do today in this episode, to play with that magic pill, the choice. How do we choose? Because a lot of times we look at what is the right choice here? What is the correct? And we go into a lot of computations and calculations. But in reality, that's not choice. That is computation and calculation, and that's a decision we're trying to make. Has nothing to do with actual choice. Choice is simple. You choose based on that moment. You choose in 10 seconds. It's whatever light. It's whatever, when you choose for you, it's always light and expanding. We talk a lot about tools of access consciousness, and the major one is light and heavy. Whatever is true for you will always feel light. Whatever is heavy is always a lie. No matter what you say, what you do, how bizarre it is. I remember doing a consultation, and I had a young man. Usually and he had no idea about spirituality, religion. And by the way, access consciousness is not spirituality or religion. It's just a set of tools. Very pragmatic system. But we're talking about, he was just about here, this material reality, nothing that, we were not talking about God, but we were playing between access tools and Akashic Records tools, and something came up which was bizarre, because the limitation that we were talking about was in the future. And he looks at me, and he's like, it's bizarre, it's crazy, it's totally out of my comprehension, but it feels light. So that was true for him. And we cleared it, and it's actually changed his life. So that's how choice works. You go what's light, what's expanding. So let's play with that. I usually like to play with 10-second increments. What if you chose every 10 seconds? Let's say the Earth is going to die, or the COVID is going to hit you in about 10 seconds. What would you choose in that 10 seconds? And I'm going to time it, so it's a little bit easier for me to talk about it. Okay, now choose something different or the same. You have another choice. You didn't die in 10 seconds. So you have now 3 seconds left. So now what would you choose? And what if you chose every 10 seconds something different? What if you have only 10 seconds to live your life? So choose again. What would you choose? Would you choose to be in fear? Or would you choose to be in gratitude of what is? Let's choose again. Would you argue with your significant other? Or would you say, hi? Choose again. What if it was that simple? You don't have to calculate, because choice creates something that will give us an awareness. It gives us possibility. It gives us something that we can choose again. When we are in decision making, a lot of times what I found last couple of weeks especially, I found myself computing and calculating about what's the right decision about the classes I'm doing. And I got paralyzed, literally. I couldn't function, not paralyzed in the physical sense, but I didn't know what to do because I was not choosing. I was more in the fashion of the right decision, how to make that work versus let's choose. Let's just choose in the moment and see what happens. Okay? Looking over my life, I had a lot of those choices. Some of them might not be my brightest moments, but they created the awareness I have today. They created what I know today. It created me as a person, the character I am, the persona I am. So, do I judge it now? I used to judge it a lot. Oh, I made so many mistakes. And where is that magic pill that will get out of my mistakes? Will stop me from making mistakes? What if there are no mistakes? What if it's just a choice? What if that magic pill, that one thing that can change everything, is choice? And what if that choice could be, at least for the next 10 seconds, not judging you or stop judging you? I wonder what that would create in your life if you take that blue pill and disconnect yourself from whatever is in your life is bothering you by choosing something different. And I'm not talking about fixing things, because a lot of times we try to fix our relationship that's already broken. In one of the classes, I was talking with the course facilitator, and we were discussing how we try to fix things and how it doesn't work. Just like a broken cup, where you break a cup, no matter how much you put it together, there is always going to be that crack that leaks. And it's about choosing something different. And we are back to the choice, that magic pill. And it's time for our first break of the show. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Helen Gitlevich, on the Inspired Choices Network. When we return, we'll continue discussing our topic of the magic pill, or the big or a small choice. We will be back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Are you a subject matter expert? Are you here to share your expertise with an audience waiting to hear from you in only the way you can deliver? Are you ready to have your voice amplified across the airwaves? Inspired Choices Network has a global radio platform streaming to millions of people across the world. Professionally produced and supported by an accomplished team every step of the way, you can broadcast from anywhere in the world Knowing your voice matters, and we ensure it is delivered with ease and efficiency. Eager to hear your message? The world awaits. Contact us today to become an Inspired Choices Network radio host. Email become a host at inspiredchoicesnetwork.com.
This is Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back. I am Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is, what is one thing, one magic pill that can change everything? And before we went on a break, we were talking about choosing, just choosing every 10 seconds, and maybe choosing to stop judging you. What if you have the capacity to create the whole world? I remember when I was a kid, I read Mark Twain, Mysterious Stranger. And at the end of the book, he talks about, well, the book is about, I think, a devil coming to Earth and talking to three kids, but with the mysterious stranger, he took the kid, one of the kids, above Earth, and he showed him the world the way it is. It's a little magical book. And the devil tells the kid, or mysterious stranger, I don't remember, well, the translation said the devil, but I did not read Mark Twain at that time in English. I actually was wondering, maybe I should. But he was talking about that the whole world that's in front of the kid's eyes is the world he created by his imagination. And we do create our reality. We create everything by our choices. We create based on our judgments. And if we have fixed points of view, and I'm talking about literally, like if we have some points of view that we solidified, we created, and we have a judgment of somebody, that person in front of us, like when we are together, cannot behave in any other way other than what we expect them to, because the judgment have the energy that creates they pick up that judgment unconsciously and subconsciously and start acting the way we decided that they should act. That's where we lose our choice. That's when we are choosing unconsciously or anti-consciously on autopilot. That's where that magic pill becomes toxic. So what if we always always ask, what will create more for us? What is that we truly desire? What if it's that simple? By asking questions instead of going to conclusion, even with friends, even with judgments, what if we choose to let go of those judgments? And one of the ways to let go of the judgments, number one, is asking, who does this belong to? Because the funniest thing, 99% of our judgments might not be even ours. What if we keep asking, who does that belong to? And choose based on the energy that's behind it, not the judgment. Because a lot of times the judgment might be, oh, this is not good for me. Might be because our parents told us that's dangerous. Maybe our friends told us that we cannot do something. How often you've heard, oh, you cannot do that. That's too difficult. No, you shouldn't do it. That's impossible to achieve. But is it actually true? Or are those the judgments of people who are unwilling to see beyond limitation? What if it was just a judgment? What if you can achieve anything just by choosing it? And what if it doesn't work? I had a conversation with a friend of mine because I love cooking. That's one of my hobbies. And lately I've been cooking more, even though I live alone. I just decided, okay, I would love to cook. And we were talking about that 99% of the time when I cook, even if I have the recipe, I don't follow the recipe directly or precisely or exactly how it says there. I don't measure things according to the recipe. A lot of times I just look, okay, that's how much salt I would like to add. Okay, this is how much onions, this is how much spices. Even that it says maybe like a quarter of a teaspoon or whatever it is. Never done it all my life. I would create something based on my choice of taking the ingredients apart, maybe adding another ingredient that felt lighter for me than the one on the recipe. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And she asked me, it's like, what if it doesn't work? And I'm like, okay, so I wasted some products. Probably I can always salvage some of the dishes, or if not, I'll cook something else. But a lot of people have the point of view or idea that they have to have the results precisely how they decided it should be. Guess what? It never shows up the way you think it is. Never. Universe has a sense of humor. It always kind of like has a little twist. If you ever saw the movie Bedazzled, it's a brilliant movie. If you never saw it, find it and watch it. It's about a devil that gives 7 wishes to a guy who is in love with a girl in his office. And I'm not going to spoil all of it, but he asks, I would like to be rich and famous and married to Ellison. Okay, that's a wish. It's a result. It's a decision. And suddenly, he is a drug lord in Colombia, married to Ellison, and she has an affair with his chauffeur. So it's about not asking for specifics. It's about asking for what works for you and choosing. Again, choosing based on what is easy for you. And it's not necessarily easy. I take it back. Ease, joy, and glory is part of Access consciousness mantra. All of life comes to me or to us with ease, joy, and glory. With that, it's all of life. All the problems or we decided problems are. What if none of it is problems? What if it's something we created so we can learn something? Or what if it's about kind of like growing as a person? And what if it is fun for some people? I found out that some people love suffering. I'm not kidding you. They decided that they have to be punished for something from previous lifetime, and they continue suffering, creating problem after problem after problem that they have to solve, or pain, or some other disasters. Even when things are going wonderfully, they will create something that will throw everything under the bus. It's about choosing, as I said, either consciously, unconsciously, or anti-consciously. And with consciously, we know we're choosing, why we're choosing, how we're choosing. And then unconsciously is autopilot. We have no idea why we're choosing. It might be because our parents said something and we decided to go against what they said, or we aligned and agreed with them, or resisted and reacted to them. Anti-consciously is actually, we know what to do and do opposite. Pretty much going against what is nurturing for us, what will create more for us. We actually closing the possibilities. So what if we stop doing that? Just stop it. I love Bob Newhart, the little show on the YouTube, Stop It, when a woman comes into his office and says, I have a fear of buried alive. So he's like, stop it. And she's like, but I've always, we don't go there. Just stop it. So what if it was that simple? Just stop whatever limitations you created and choose something different. And it's time for our second break of the show. And when we return, we'll continue discussing that one thing and one magic pill that can change everything. And you've been listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Helen Gitlevich, on the Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is, what is one thing, one magic pill that can change everything? And as I said, it's a choice. Choice is that magic then create the future. And choice to be you. I just wanted to invite everybody to a new Facebook group that Rachel Silber and I created, Being You Without Hiding, where we actually creating a playground for change and fun, and it will be a lot of free videos, free tools, we're starting energy pools today, probably around 4 p.m. today. And just join us. It's a public group. Everybody's welcome. Not necessarily you do access consciousness. And just join us. Also, a couple of classes. I'm doing a couple of foundations, one with Rachel on August 3rd, and by myself in Chicago area, online and in person on July 30th, and the body class on August 26th, 28th. And I know we are still on social isolation, so it will be smaller classes at this time live. And going back to our magic pill. So what if it's simpler than you think? Because we all think of, we have so many problems in our lives. But what if we actually chose it? And that it's not about judging. It's not about saying, oh my God, you're so wrong for creating all those problems in your life. No, it's just to show you that you're much more powerful than you think. It's about you've created those problems based on the tools that you had. What if you have new tools? Like, who does it belong to? Because a lot of problems we've created, not ours. We, as I said, picked up based on judgment of others. The other thing is we have a lot of unfinished business from prior lifetimes. And that kind of brings us a little bit to Akashic record, but also Access Consciousness does talk a little bit about that, because with clearing statement, we go all the way back to point of creation, where this thing was created. Could be now or could be trillions of years ago. So when we choose, we undo everything. It's pretty much it. Choice creates anything, and you don't need even to clear anything. And you can clear till the end of days, but unless you choose something, it's not going to change. I remember reading in the book How to Get Your Prayers Answered by Rabbi, I think it was Rabbi Wolf, but I don't remember, don't quote me on that. I remember How to Get Your Prayers Answered. And there, he talks about us asking and how the universe answers. Remember, like we were talking about, it never shows up the way we decided it should show up, and then we decided that our ask or our choice didn't work. Well, our choices is about choosing. And a lot of times we ask, let's say we ask for love. And I remember he talked about that when we ask for love, we get difficult people to love. And those choices, like we choose to learn what love is. So the universe gives us challenges to kind of like learn what is true love. That's why, what if we just choose, but not choose on that judgment that we have to have that fantasy of love? Because my fantasy was, I didn't realize that, by the way, it was not cognitive or conscious. A lot of those choices are not cognitive. Because a lot of times we have fantasy, and a lot of it is based on fairy tales. My fairy tale was Beauty and the Beast. What does Beauty and the Beast signify? You get the beast and you turn him into prince. You break the curse. Yes, originally he was a prince, mean and awful, who was turned into the beast that he was inside. And for love, saved him? Well, in my marriages, that's what I did. I picked the beasts and turned them into princes. Well, they didn't turn into princes. They turned still. Even that I kissed them, the frog did not turn into prince, or the beast did not break the curse because there was no curse. Those were the people that were just who they were. And maybe they got a little bit better, maybe or not. And still, there probably was a lot of judgments I had that they couldn't break out of it. Because we create a lot of judgments along the way, especially in relationships. And what if you let go of all your judgments? What would that create in your life? There was another story, because as I said, I did a lot of classes, a lot of modalities over the year trying to find that magic pill. And some of them were, because I'm Jewish, so some of them were rabbis. I did a lot of Kabbalah, did a lot of online classes, live classes. And in one of the classes, there was a story that it was Rabbi Gitlevich story where he was talking about the relationship, how a lot of relationships are based on our points of view that we were brought up with, and it colors our perception. The story was in Russian, and it's not quite translatable, but I will try to explain it. So the young couple, and he's watching TV. She walks into the room. The door squeaks, and she says something. He, without even turning, says, "Oh, please don't squeak," because the door was very loud and it interferes with his watching TV. So she went ballistic, because in her family, squeaking meant that his father was judging her mother, talking too much or complaining. So she went into, "How dare you tell me that I squeak when I just said something," whatever it was. And the argument started. All he said was, "Don't squeak with the door." So how often we misinterpret somebody else's words or actions because we have the idea of what it means based on how we grew up, based on our experience, maybe not even this lifetime. What if we chose something different this time? What if we chose to look at everything without the past experiences? What if we let go of all our past? I wonder, what would it create in our relationship, in our lives? And that's the magic pill I'm talking about. Letting go of the judgments, choosing something different, choosing just being who we are. And we are the infinite beings. We are everything and nothing at the same time. We are that ocean and a drop in the ocean simultaneously. What if we just be that? Be who we are without points of view, in total allowance, and choose based on choices instead of decisions or judgments. Choice is something that is always available. And as I said, not having a choice is still a choice. I never realized that until, well, it was actually years ago. It was more like 25 years ago when I finally realized that not choosing is still a choice. Not having a choice is still a choice. Having bad choices is still choices. So everything that doesn't allow you to choose based on choice, are you willing to let go of it completely? Just destroy and uncreate all of it? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pack and pat, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And I wasn't going to use clearing statement today, just talking about choices. But I guess it's required. And it's again a choice. And clearing statement is just that. It clears any limitations, any points of view that is limiting you, any lies, any judgments. And you can find out more about clearing statement on the page theclearingstatement.com with Dr. Dane Hare explaining everything. There is a long explanation what the clearing statement is. But again, it's not about clearing. It's about choosing. And yes, sometimes we do need to clear stuff before we can choose. Because a lot of times we have past karma, past dharma, and past whatever it is. But what if we choose without looking at our past, without choosing based on our past experiences, without choosing the right choice? Because there is no right choice, there is just a choice. And that's the one thing that can change stuff instantly. And choice is nonverbal. It is an action. You just choose to step into different reality. Sometimes in classes, I play with people when I facilitate, and I tell them a lot of times, like pretty much everywhere, you have either squares or planks on the floor, right? Or you can choose an imaginary line. And with imaginary line, you can just say, okay, this is my life now. And let's play with that. If you're somewhere where you can walk or step over something, just make an imaginary line. Where you're standing now, that's your life. And beyond that imaginary line is something you would like to choose. It can be anything. It can be money, it can be relationships, it can be your health, it can be your body, it can be your friendships. Doesn't matter. But here where you're standing is your life. Just feel the energy of it. And on the other side of that line is your choice. A choice you can make to create something different. And you might not know what it is, because if you define it, it's already not that energetic future that you would like to create. Let's say you just follow the energy. And what if you choose to step over that line into the future that's not defined? Okay, just see how you feel. Looks nice, right? Feels good. Now step back into that old reality, old whatever it is that you are now living your life. Doesn't feel as good, right? Now step over that line again and just feel the future. Full of possibility, full of choices. Which one would you choose? And this is time for our third and final break of the show. And when we return, we'll continue talking about magic pill, magic thing that can change everything. And you've been listening to me, listening to Creating Abundance with Ease with myself, Dr. Helen Gitlevich, on the Inspired Choices Network. And we will be right back.
Many of us live our lives based on karma, on the past, and all the unfinished business in our lives. What would you choose if you did not have karma, or if you could choose what you desired instead? By tuning into Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to create the abundance in your life. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to have ease with creating abundance? Listen for Creating Abundance with Ease radio show every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. This is Creating Abundance with Ease radio show with Dr. Helen Gitlevich. To participate in the program, call in the U.S. 815-880-8255, Canada 613-800-8736, or Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to helen.g@att.net. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I'm Dr. Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease, and today our show topic is, what is one thing, one magic pill that can change everything? And before we went on the break, we were talking about choosing, just stepping over the line, creating imaginary line and just stepping over from whatever you have right now into the future. And it's as simple as that action. Same when we can choose something different. It might look different than just stepping over the line or over the plank, over the square, doesn't matter. But it's still choosing something different. How much we are entrained, and I'm saying entrained, that we have only two choices. What ice cream would you like, vanilla or chocolate? And then you're like, now how about something else? Or both? People, a lot of times when you ask them, they don't even know how to choose. Because all their life, they've been told you have only 2, 3, maybe 4 choices. Usually it's the right choice or the wrong choice. It's something that we are pretty much implanted with. By implanted, I'm talking about programmed, almost like a robot. You have to go through this road. This road will lead you to happiness. You get married, you have that white picket fence house with 2.5 kids, 1.5 pets, dogs, cats, whatever they are, whatever the statistical median or mean is. And actually, I always looked at statistical mean. That's mean. To have that statistical, whatever that is. Because none of us fit into that category. Well, there might be some people, but a lot of people don't. Especially, I guess, people who are listening to my show. How often did you fit into the norm of this reality? So why do you think that you could choose that normal choices? What if normal choices do not work for you? What if you can choose something different that works for you instead of for John, Anne, or whoever, like your example, where, because a lot of times I hear, why you cannot be like such and such. I can't. I am me. I'm like that infinite being that always look for something different. And how many of you do that? What if looking for something different is not of wrongness? What if it's just a choice? And again, let's play with that exercise. I know we just did it a couple of times, but what if you use those things to your advantage? What if you choose based on where you would like to go, no matter how bizarre or how impossible those choices are? And that can change anything. Because what if we are looking at everything from the perspective of other people instead of looking through our own eyes? How many color glasses do you use to judge? And those color glasses not even yours. Let's say your mom's glasses, your dad's glasses, your sister's glasses, your uncle's glasses, and you put all of them in front of you, and you try to see what's in front of you. Can you? Not really. Isn't it why your whole future looks so glim and so dark? Take off your glasses and choose something different. Seriously, just take off your glasses. And we are coming to the end of our show for today. But don't worry, next week I'll be back and we'll have another show. And next week we'll be talking about what are the infinite possibilities. It's not on the schedule yet, but it will be as of probably tomorrow. And we will talk about our choices create. We'll continue our conversation about choices and how much of our choices create infinite possibility if we choose based on question, if we choose based on the energy, instead of whatever judgments we have, instead of calculation or computation we have. What if it's just about choosing and seeing the infinite possibility in front of us? Because future is not defined unless we defined it. And we'll talk about that, how we define the future, how we solidify, how we actually make it so it looks the same as our past. You know the expression of, and yes, I'm giving you a little preview of the next show, but the next show will be a full hour versus a couple of minutes. So, you know how when we choose something, we solidify that in the future. It's almost like, especially if we have a judgment about that. Let's say we have a judgment of we need to have something in our lives. And we pictured it. I've done a lot of creative visualization, so that's why I'm talking about it. And we picture it that white picket fence and 2.5 kids and 1.5 dogs. And if it's not for us, a lot of times we resist and react to that. So we stop ourselves from creating it. Or we do create that and we might or might not be happy with that. So what if we let go of all of that? What if we be ourselves? And me being you facilitator, we can talk about what is being you. And we will be talking more about the infinite possibility next time. See you next week. And you've been listening to Helen Gitlevich on Creating Abundance with Ease radio show.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Creating Abundance with Ease radio show. Dr. Helen Gitlevich will return next Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 11 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Mountain, and 9 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have fun using the tools of the week in your life and start creating magic in your life and